I'm going to share my secrets today on chain maintenance for motorcycles. If you are interested in having a expensive chain that lasts a long time and keeps your bike clean, then this is the video for you. Most folks I see have very dirty chains. They use some wax material that pretty much just attracts more dirt and rocks, and that's not the way. The chains that I use are nice DID, high quality chains, and they last about 20 to 25,000 miles using this method. So stay tuned. Let me know what you think in the comments, like and subscribe, and let's learn about chains. First thing we need to do is understand how the chain works. So, we've all seen one. You think you know how it works. It bends, and you just throw some lube on it and that's it. But actually, there's more to the chain than you think. There's actually 3 separate moving components in a chain highlighted in the cross section that's not to scale here. In 3 different colors: black, blue, and green. The red is lubrication, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But first, let's go through the different components of the chain so you understand how it works. Okay, first, let's start with the outer plate and the pin. This is what you see from the outside on the side-on view, right? This is all one unit. The outer plates and the pin are all pressed together and they move together. Then, on the inside of that, you've got inner plates, and those are held to each other with a little cylindrical bushing. So this outer plates and the inner plates slide and they rotate. The chain can bend, but they're not connected. They're separated by these O-rings, and inside the O-rings there are lubrication, which is permanent. You cannot add more lubrication in there. There's no way to spray something from the outside and get it in between this pin and the bushing or past these plates and the O-ring. That goose is cooked. So that's going to be really important for what we talk about in a minute here. All right, so now that we've got the outer plate and the inner plates, those 2 pieces that move, you've got one more, this green roller. This is in between the inner plate and rides on top of the bushing. So these 3 separate pieces move independently, and your sprocket engages the inner plates and this roller. And when it does, this roller will spin on the bushing and inside the inner plates, and this is where you need the lube. So any lube outside of this area where the roller and the inner plate contact is just a waste. It's not doing anything. It's just attracting more dirt. So the only way to get lube in here is at the junction of the roller and the inner plate. Put a little lube and it's got to seep and go inside. And you want to do it, on the top and bottom. It has to go all the way around the chain. This is just a cross section. Any other lube on the outside is just making a mess. So no matter what you do, covering your chain, when you spray it, 90% of it's going to go all over the chain. Very little of it is going to hit this roller and go into this little gap. So instead, my method is going to show you how to get lube exactly where it needs to go. The first step is you got to clean all the crap off your chain. This is a chain that's about 7,000 miles used, and you can see it's got no rust. It's perfectly clean. And the way I do that is I use a chain cleaner, like this Motul chain clean. And sometimes I use a little scrub brush to get it all in there. But really, you got to use a microfiber towel. And a microfiber towel, you get in there, I actually will floss each and every joint to get every little bit of dirt and grime out. Yeah, it takes about 5 minutes, but you do both sides of your chain and you just floss every little thing, get each roller. Keep going until your microfiber towel is clean. And then the chain is dry and there's nothing on it. This is the first step. If you don't get here, none of the rest will work. So eventually you're going to have a chain that's just clean and dry. You want to clean up your counter shaft area, clean the sprockets. You got to clean behind it and the seals, get everything to where it's spick and span. That is going to be your base kind of foundation for the maintenance regimen that we're going to do. The tip I'd like to share is I like to mark my chain with this kind of metal marker. I get white. It's called super metal tip. It's like white out, except it sticks on metal. And I use it on my master link. I'll just basically put it inside so that while I'm cleaning the chain, I can very quickly see when I've done the whole chain. So use whatever method you like. Some people like to put a dot right on the side. You can use different colored master links. Whatever method you choose will work, but you just want some way to keep track of every link so that you start at one end of the chain and finish on the other. Okay, now the kind of main star of the show is this stuff called ACF-50. ACF-50 is a vapor corrosion inhibitor, meaning it chemically penetrates the metal so that it cannot corrode or rust. It kind of provides a barrier. And you wipe it on, and even though you wipe it all the way off, it's still there. And they say it protects for up to 12 months, but I typically do it at least every 6 months. And on the bikes, I'm doing chain maintenance every 500 miles. You can go longer, but 500 miles seems to be about the happy spot. You can buy ACF-50 in a variety of packages. They've got the aerosol, which is convenient, but it wastes a lot. And then you got the squirt bottle, and you can buy it in bulk as well. I buy a little plastic bottle with a syringe, bend the syringe, and then it allows me to drop drops into each one of these little nooks and crannies that we talked about earlier. I'll try to link to this in the description below so that if you're interested in trying it, you can give it a shot yourself. I did have to bend the syringe a little bit just to make it more ergonomic. Okay, I've got the bike on a rear stand, which lets me rotate it, and then here's what you do. You take the ACF-50 and you're dropping one drop into each edge of the roller. So you just come here and you just go one drop there, and you just keep repeating. You rotate the chain. This one's got 120 links, so I'll be putting 240 drops. But the difference is that I am only putting lubrication exactly where it needs it. The rest of the chain does not need superfluous like wax or lube. It's not going to do anything. It's not touching anything. It's just going to attract dirt and garbage onto your chain and pile it up in here. So once you finish the whole chain, what you do is you put a little bit of ACF-50 on a rag, and then you can wipe down the whole chain, and then that'll keep the outside of it from corroding. So that's it, and you do that every 500 miles, and your chain will last 20 to 25,000 miles, and your bike will stay clean. Right after you do a lubrication, you're going to ride, and you'll see a little bit of fling. You wipe that off, and then that's it. You're good for 500 miles. And your chain won't look ugly, covered in gross wax. Your counter shaft area is going to stay clean. Your sprockets will last longer. All the rocks and detritus and debris that those chain waxes and other lubes kind of attract and stick onto your chain is actually harmful. So anyway, that's the secret to my chain maintenance. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, and appreciate everyone tuning in. Take care.